Back in 2016, former British Royal Marine Richard Browning decided that it would be his goal to make human flight a reality without the use of aircraft such as planes, helicopters, gliders, or any other traditional method of flight. By October, after founding and becoming the CEO of Gravity Industries, he had invented one of humanity's first flight suits, which he's now named the Daedalus, or Daedalus, the Greek inventor name. The original model had two jets on each arm, and then a single jet strapped to the back of each calf, more like the traditional look we see on Iron Man. However, we've also seen how well that goes for Iron Man right off the bat. And similar issue, it was just very hard to balance on your legs, just because an interesting phenomenon that they observed was that as soon as you lift off the ground, your legs, like your feet, try to find the surface that they're leaving, and they start pedaling around, which is bad if you have a thruster mounted to them. It is quite physically demanding as well. I mean, you can see the legs kind of give out here and there in the videos, and here is some clips of him training. You have to have very strong body control, like muscular control. Make sure that you can control where your limbs are going, because those are, of course, pointing your thrusters. So while this did work for moving people around, it wasn't ideal. So after kind of messing around with the design, eventually they came up with the idea of removing it from the legs and instead placing it at the back of the waist, creating more of a skirt of sorts, so that it was like a tripod of thrusters, which it has now translated to where those two have become one single thruster with the power of two, leaving more room for fuel bladders on the sides. Today it stands as a 1,050 horsepower diesel and jet fuel powered flight suit, selling at a whopping $440,000, but you can buy one. The way it's put together is so it has an aluminum tubing frame to the thrusters, and then, like I mentioned, diesel to jet fuel, which pumps through the microgas turbines, with the fuel bladders on the back, sandwiching the giant thruster, which creates that tripod. It does, however, burn a gallon of fuel a minute, so they're currently working on ways to make it more efficient. Recent designs that we've seen from them have it with wing-like cloths draped between legs and arms, almost like a squirrel suit. I find this recent invention to be interesting, not only because it looks like something out of a Marvel film, but also just because it could be the early stage of a whole new form of transportation for humanity. And give it a few more years of advancement to help fuel efficiency and other problems that it currently faces, the next generation, or more likely the generation after that, they could possibly be soaring out of their homes and like Tony Stark or George Jetson, which I think is really cool. I mean, imagine a world where air highways carry people to their grandmother's house for Sunday dinner, while electric cars or something bring them back home. Electric cars are cool, but that's a separate topic. However, Browning does hope that he can inspire some competition, just because that's really when inventions start to take off, is when somebody's like, hey, I can go faster than you. So I would like to see Musk pick this up as well. The idea of it being for mass public transportation, that's far off. I don't think we'll see that in our lifetimes. But they have started to do races with these, and that I think we could see a lot more of. I mean, just imagine like Formula One races, but with jetpacks. It's pretty sweet. They usually fly over lakes, as you've probably seen through these videos, just because that's a bit safer, a bit more forgiving should anything cut out, but that doesn't seem to be a consistent problem. As far as any other problems that could arise, I mean, some people are concerned about like all the heat coming off of it. Like, is that going to burn something or set on fire? But supposedly, it's a lot like a hair dryer. The way that if you put it right against your head, then yes, of course, that's going to burn you. But put it a little further away, and it's cold. Like you don't feel it. It's the same way with these thrusters. Like the heat this dies off very fast. So it's not like a jet beam shooting out of it. Again, bringing this invention to the common public is something that could take a good while, and I wouldn't expect to see anyone but millionaires flying these around for a couple of decades. It's just the potential that we see here that excites and interests me, um, because I think it shows how creative and innovative humanity can be when we really put our minds to something and give it time and our best effort. It might have taken us a bit longer than humanity originally predicted to get jetpacks, but we're finally approaching what we've often considered to be the future, and I think that's pretty neat.